This is the entertainment roundup for, yes, the 2nd of December 2012. How are things going? And I'm just going to leap right into sports because there's two articles I want to talk about. One I'm going to save for the secondary because I want to start off on a high note, especially for those college football fans. It has been official. Notre Dame, Alabama, BCS Bowl. Never thought I'd hear that word came out of the presses, but it has been made official this past Sunday, that Notre Dame and Alabama begins their star power, will bring their star power to the BCS Bowl championship. The match became official Sunday night when the full BCS lineup is announced on ESPN. The one bit drama on Football Selection Sunday was whether Northern Illinois could be this year's so-called BCS buster, but even that mystery was solved early. A person families familiar with the decision told the Associated Press that INU had qualified for an automatic bid and would play Florida State in the Orange Bowl. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity because the official announcement was still to come. Don't even know why they didn't bother having that. I really don't. For the main event, it is number 1 Notre Dame against number 2 Alabama in Miami on January 7th. The Irish clinched their spot a week ago in Los Angeles by completing a perfect season against silver rivalry Southern California. Alabama earned this spot Saturday, beating Georgia 32-28 in a thrilling Southern Conference game. The program that Coach Paul Bryant turned into an ACS behemoth in the 1960s and 70s, winning 6 national championships during his tenure, is again demonstrating college football with modern day versions of the Bears, leading the way to I believe that's Tool. I hope I'm saying this right. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. If I'm saying it wrong, you guys are free to kill me. Yeah, this is a very big announcement. I'll leave the link below. You guys can look at it yourself. Also, it comes even further. That says next to ban, and the Crimson Tides are on the verge of one of their great runs in history. Alabama will become the first team to repeat a championship since the Bowl Championship Series was implemented in 1998, and the 11th team to win consecutive AP titles since the poll started in 1936. The Tides also won the 2009 BCS Championship, the last team to win 3 major national titles in 4 seasons was Nebraska, which went back to back in 1994, 95, and finished number 1 in the final coaching polls in 1997. Wow! So this is for those schools, congratulations. Especially for Notre Dame, which I'm gonna be honest with you, wasn't a big fan. Didn't see why every time I turn on my TV, I have to see them playing football every time. A friend of mine told me that they have a special contract, which makes them be one of the locals of my TV station. But in any case, besides that, Notre Dame did not have the greatest run doing me keeping an eye on them. They had fired a coach, which I felt was despicable, and I'm not going to get too much into that because if I do, I'll probably be ranting and raving. But needless to say, it didn't leave a good taste in my mouth. The team had pretty much struggled ever since, and I always kept asking me, why is this team considered one of the best elite teams? Why this team does not enter one of the big conferences? why they're in an independent conference. Why do we even consider that a major conference if they're not even along the Big Ten, the Big East, or the ACC? Or why are we making this team relevant still? This team has not been relevant in a while, but lately they slowly rebuild. They slowly got themselves back up, and this is probably one of their best seasons they had in a long, long time. So I wish them nothing but the best. I doubt they're going to be favored to win the BCS Bowl. I think the Crimson Tides will definitely take it. But but the fact that they're there, the fact they're playing for the big game, hey, anything is possible. So my hats off to them. As far as the other bowls concerned, I probably will talk about it more extensively the coming weeks. But for now, just the fact that I see Notre Dame actually having a surprisingly perfect season, an undefeated season. I just got nothing to say, but they earned it. They deserved it. I know a lot of people is going to debate about it because there's a fact that a couple of colleges are not here. That's not because they was bad. It's because of other issues. Being banned from any kind of bowl play. Penn State, one of them. I believe Ohio State is the second one. So we had that situation. So a lot of people was going to debate, well, they only was good because they didn't face those colleges, and those colleges had undefeated season, but they couldn't qualify. It's not fair for that. So there's definitely a lot to talk about in terms of this season. But for now, can't let it rain on Notre Dame Parade. They too had a great season. They could have went either way, and I got no complaints about this selection. Again, I will leave a link below. You guys can talk about it yourself. Leave comments on this article. I can get the other official notes. I will talk about it as the days and weeks come along. But for now, congratulations to both Notre Dame and Alabama. So let's go to the second topic here. I want to start with something on a high note because, frankly, this story pains me. It saddens me, and I was talking about it earlier with my sisters, a lot of friends who follow the sport, but this involving the Kansas City Chief, killing his girlfriend and then himself in a way that just shocked me, shocked my sister, and she's more of a fan of the Cowboys, but she still was stunned that this happened. She didn't even know it happened until I called her, and this one actually, the impact was so shocking, it actually made the two local papers here. It was on the front page of both the Daily News and the New York Post. That's how stunned this happened. And basically, I'm just going to give you the short version here. But in simply put, about a few days ago, Kansas City Chief linebacker Javon Bleacher shot himself at the Kansas City Chief facility in view of the team's general manager and coach. This happened on Saturday. Begins with his 25-year-old. It began when a 25-year-old linebacker fatally shot his girlfriend at a nearby residence. 22-year-old Perkins was Bleacher's girlfriend, and the couple had a child in September. This is just recently, a few months past. The Kansas City reports that Perkins is the cousin of the wife of the chief running back Jamal Charles. So this is even hitting more home. And apparently he drove to the facility and, according to some reports, thanked his coach, thanks the managing team, and then pulled a gun on himself. And today I know that the Kansas City Chiefs have won their game. They went out, trying to, not to think about what has happened. But I'm gonna be very honest with you. That if I would have witnessed that happening in front of me, I would have just lost it. I probably would not even be able to coach a team, let alone go out on the field. That will pretty much scar me deeply to the point of probably no return. I'm not gonna say I'm losing my head over it, but the point of that happening in front of me, I don't know how I would react right there. I really don't. A lot of people said, "Oh, it's just like the movies." No, it's not. Seeing something in real life like that is totally. That's a hole in the walking, because that's real life, and you're gonna react to that. I know Lupica said something. Lupica is a person who writes for for our New York papers. He said we should focus on the real victims. He is 100% right, because a lot of people are going to forget about what has actually happened, what led him to do what he did. According to some article, they said they had an argument because she was out late. I believe a concert that happened. She came in, an argument ensued. The next thing you know, it led to him fatally shooting her. The article also stressed that that the family describes as being under shock after the murder, and talk about the young couple as having appeared a very loving in the months leading to the terrible incidents. There is video feed. I'm gonna leave you a link to this article. But yeah, this here is it's hard to even cover. This is one of the stories that I had to really sit back and say, wow, this actually happened. And it happened, and it ended in the way it ended. I mean, wow. The fact that those coaches going out there and still coaching the game, knowing what he had just witnessed, I got to give the man credit for that, because I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I'd have to probably ask my assistant coach, just take the reins. I'm gonna, I need some time to think, because that will bug me out. That's automatically traumatizing someone when you see that. I can't fathom what that man is going through, just coaching right there, knowing what he saw, knowing what the manager saw. That is something that's crazy. I know they have to do a job, but even the owners have to agree that seeing that, it's best just to go home, talk to someone about what you saw, because you can't shut that out. You just can't. That stays right there. You can have vivid flashes of that happening, because just seeing the person pull out a gun by itself, you don't know what the person is going to do, what he's thinking, what his right state of mind is. And the fact that he even saw him pull the gun himself, there's a reaction. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a reaction of a scream, of a shout, or something, but that's definitely a reaction. Seeing someone like that, you just can't shrug off. And hopefully, both the manager and the coach have someone to talk to, a psychiatrist or something. But hopefully they don't keep that bottle in, because that's just something you can't keep bottle in. That's poison right there. As far as the victim is concerned, I agree with Lupica. We should focus on the real victim, which is his girlfriend. Her life has been taken from her. Anger and rage, and my condolences go out to her family. It's a sad ending throughout. The lives has been torn apart by this, and we will never know why he did what he did, because we will never know, only what is being reported. But keep in mind, that's just a fragment of what actually went down. Again, this is done by the Associated Press. I will definitely leave, aka Huffington Post. I will leave a link. You guys can see it. I have images, video. You guys can check out yourself. But I'm going to move right along, because we got a lot of stuff to cover. I'm saving you last, Lindsay Lohan. I already talked about you twice in one day. You are going to be a special case for that for now. Going to switch over to Halle Berry. Halle Berry X. Oh man, I don't even know. It's a good. I'll say this: if I had the image and I place and paste it on this audio, I think the pictures says enough. This is a very bad picture. I hope he's getting medical attention, because his eye is black, closed, and swollen. It says here in this article, Halle Berry's Gabriel Aubry reached a truce over his violence Thanksgiving tussle with actress fiance Oliver Martinez. And I'm just going to read the article here. It's not that much in terms of what is being said, so I might as well just read the whole thing, and then I'll give my own feeling about this. Halle Berry and Gabriel Aubry had reached a truce over the violent Turkey Day tussle at the Oscar-winning mansion. The party had reached an announcement agreement There will be no further statements regarding this matter. Various lawyers, Blair Beck told the Daily News on Thursday, said that the ceasefire statement was joined by Aubry criminal lawyer Sean Hawley. Both sides were in Los Angeles courtroom Thursday to discuss the settlement in which the family court judge overseeing the preliminary case of Berry's 4-year-old daughter with Aubry. It is still not clear if attorneys will pursue criminal case against Aubry. He was taken into custody Thanksgiving morning on suspicion of misdemeanor battery after a fight with Berry's fiancée Oliver Martinez. Oh boy. I might as well tell you right now, there was an incident that happened, and judging from this picture, I'm still going back to this picture because the picture just says a lot of words. I don't even. Gabriel Aubry just got beat up. I mean, that's not the best way. He lost that fight. I mean, he lost that fight big time. Oh man, let me just continue reading this because every time I look at that, it bugs me out. The police in Berry called the cops on the report someone assaulted her boyfriend, and Martinez made a citizen's arrest of Aubry. The law enforcement sources said Martinez claimed Aubry started the ball by shoving him and throwing him and punching his face that missed and hit his shoulder. Aubry, a Calvin Klein model, later claimed Martinez violently attacked him without being provoked, and threatened to kill him. Multiple sources told the Daily News it's highly possible the case will disappear because Aubry has no history of violence and battery, barely touched Martinez. Well, that's one thing is true. He barely touched Martinez. He took the blunt of the deal. And again, when you guys see the link to this, it's clear that he got his ass handed to him. There's no other way to put it. Let me put it this way, guys. I don't know the relationship of Halle Berry and husband. I know it was very shaky. I know they had a very bitter custody dispute still going on as we speak. I don't know why he was there, knowing the tension between the two to begin with. And it does sound like there was it's going to be like he did this, he did that. All I know is when I look at that picture, I say that it's very clear that he did not win this fight, and it's very clear that if you ain't ready to win a fight, just don't fight. I mean, because his eye is bad. I mean, it is really bad. I mean, I've seen injuries like this before. This is a bad injury. It's going to take a couple of weeks for him to finally fully heal. And if not, his pride is definitely going to be hurt for a while. But like I said, this is. I wouldn't say a domestic dispute for the simple fact it wasn't her that got hurt. It was basically the battle between the boyfriend, and his ex. So it's definitely there. It's definitely that's pretty much why it's not considered a domestic dispute. And who knows? This may actually just basically disappear. You never heard it again. But make no mistake about it. I think both sides are gonna think twice before letting their fist to the talking. Because this could have easily said, "Oh, well, obviously the daughter could be in danger," and the judge can look at that. The judge can say, "Hey, you're putting your daughter in danger because you guys don't know how to act civil. Take her out of the house. I don't trust you guys to keep her safe." And that's the main thing I think most people are concerned about is where was their daughter in this whole thing, and if so, how much did she saw, and how much did it traumatize her? So far, I haven't really mentioned her daughter, just only the fact that there's still a custody hearing going on. But that's pretty much it. But that's the thing I'm more concerned about. I think Halle Berry I think the reason why they actually went to truce because for the sake of their daughter, they don't want to see either one of them in jail, and that's the main key here. I think that's where they come in the term. Well, we gotta think about our daughter. We don't want her to be put in a situation where both of us will lose custody. I kind of wish they actually thought about that before that whole thing came into a fistball, but only the two parties involved really know what happened. And again, this article, It says he said, she said. I'm looking at the picture, and it seemed like that he took that the ex took the blunt of the hits. And but again, it doesn't look too good, I tell you that. One thing it does says in this article, it does say it's still not clear whether attorneys will pursue criminal charges against Halle Berry's ex Gabriel Aubry. So it's definitely possible that there still be criminal charges. It really all depends on the situation. It's very tough to tell, but I highly doubt they're going to do. I highly doubt they're going to do it. I think they're going to let it disappear, and pretty much just focus on the child custody case. That's the only thing I can tell you. But yeah, if you look at the pictures, guys, it ain't looking good. It definitely doesn't. Alright, guys, so I went from that story. I went from talk about Halle Berry. I gotta talk about Hugh Herfiner. I really do. I gotta talk about Hugh Herfiner. Okay, guys? And the only reason why I'm talking about him is because I'm trying to understand him. I'm trying to understand what Hugh Hefner is doing. I am starting to see this article, and I was debating whether or not to just leave it alone. But then I thought about it, I said, no, I gotta talk about this. Hugh Hefner and Crystal Harris is engaged again. Now, I find this kind of shocking, considering they both broke up the first time. Well, she called it off the first time, and a lot of people felt that this probably was a blessing in disguise because, in all. And I believe this, and I still believe it right now. I don't think she actually loves him. I really don't. And I don't even think his kids want her to have nothing to do with him. But she did broke it off, and now it's been reported that the 86-year-old Playboy tycoon is once again engaged to 26-year-old Crystal Harris. It says once again the pair are reportedly set to tie the knot at the Playboy Mansion on New Year's Eve, unlike the previous plan to say "I do" in front of 300 guests. I kind of wonder who these guests actually are and whether half of them actually approve of this. And probably won't say nothing. Hefner and Hefner will reportedly exchange vows during the intimate gathering in front of close friends and family members. Harris, who rekindled her relationship with Hefner this past June, said to be finally ready for a matrimony. And I just have a bad feeling about this. I'm just saying. According to TMZ sources, the blonde beauty feels the time she spent with her on her own following the breakup taught her how to be an independent and stand on her own feet. And my question is, what she does for a living? That's all I gotta ask. What is she doing for a living? Since Harris moved back into the Playboy Mansion early this year, the reunited couple is reportedly ready to walk down the aisle. And again, though the two have not publicly addressed the rumors' wedding plans, Harris hasn't done much to splash a stellar butt. I don't know why they put that in here. She may have hinted her upcoming big day on Thursday when she posted a photo on, I believe, a website, and two ornaments, a mermaid dress, and a bride and groom the following day. She took to Twitter and wrote, "Dear past, thank you for all the lessons. Dear future, I'm ready." Adding more fuel to the fire, Harris has since changed her username to Crystal Hefner. So obviously he's going through with it. Look, guys, I'm being real. I'm not mad at him if he wants to feel a tired knot. If he wants to feel lonely, that's fine. I just don't feel that he needs to. I think the guy has all the women in the world. The man is the man is the face of Playboy. And yet this 86-year-old guy still wants to get married to this 26-year-old woman. And I'm going to call it like it is, and you guys may feel I'm being unfair. I don't think she loves him. I really don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't. I find that... I find this very, very suspicious. Again, she said she learned how to be an independent woman. Fine. What are you doing for a living? What are you doing other than being part of Playboy Mansion? I'm curious. Can we get at least that explanation? There's no way I can see and look at this and say that she's after his money. I'm being real. I feel that she's after his money. I feel people have called out the first time. That's one reason why she left the first place. You know, and Hefner, I don't think the money cares for him anymore. I mean, the man lived a great, strong life. A successful business tycoon. I got no grudges against the guy. But he doesn't really need to get married. He really don't. If it's loneliness, I mean, I'm kind of surprised if it is, because the man basically owns Playboy Mansion. How many women are there? I mean, come on. I mean, seriously. I mean, come on. So I really don't know. I just find this very odd, and I find it honestly kind of creepy. Again, it's almost like a 60-year difference here. 86, 26. Where's the love in between here? I just don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can correct me on my feeling towards it. Because the more I read it, the more I'm just saying, do you really love this woman? Do you really love this woman that you're willing to go one last time? You know you don't really have to. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overlooking this. Maybe I'm being a little bit too critical on something that's really nothing. Maybe, just maybe, again I doubt it, but just maybe she actually do love Hugh Hefner. I doubt anybody's gonna agree with that, but I just don't see it, guys. I'm sorry. You guys will comment on this. I want to hear your feelings on that. I really do, but there's nothing. I will expect your feedback. I really do. I do expect feedback. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm looking at it. But there's nothing in this article that tells me that she actually learned from a lesson. There's nothing in this article that tells me that she actually loved this man. And if she is a more independent woman, what really has she done to stand on her own that she doesn't need Hugh Hefner's money? Is she filing a prenup? Is she working somewhere where she actually earning something with her own power, nobody else? So until I see some other evidence otherwise, I still think she's after his money. That's it. Now Hughes may not care about the cash. Again, that's fine. Man's 86 years old. He lived his life anyway. But I just find it very weird, and I'm kind of curious what the family thinks. I know they probably won't say much because they want their father to be happy. His friends probably want him to be happy. But I found little happiness between the two. I just don't. But again, I'm going a little bit too much on this article. I'll let you guys decide. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you feel about this. But that's just my own opinion, guys. I'm not buying that she loves him. I'm not buying it at all. I kind of find that she mostly talked about herself and not really the reason why she's actually going through with it now. What was the thing that she changed her mind at? So now on to the last story. And I saved you for last because frankly, I'm not even going to read the article. I'm just going to leave a link. But I'm going to give a response to someone who actually responded to the video I made. I know what he said, and trust me, I understand fully what he says. It's not a troll or person is being racist or mean. Trust me, I understand fully what he said. I actually thank goodness that he actually comments and voice his opinion, because it gives me a chance to actually explain why Lindsay Lohan is pissing me off and pissing off a lot of other people. But there's a different kind of anger towards me with Lindsay Lohan. And it goes back not just on her troublesome week that she had in New York this week. It doesn't even go back to the incident with the car incident and the hotel situation. This goes back to everything, all bundled up in one, and it all amounts to one thing. She believes she has everything under control. She doesn't have any problem. Everything's all right, and because the law, and I'll say the law because there's just as much responsible for her downward spiral as anybody else, is leading to the fact that they're making programs, very good programs, as a joke. And when I refer to programs, I'm referring to Drugs and Alcohol Anonymous. There is no secret that Lindsay Lohan has a drug and alcohol problems back in the past. I still think she still do, and I'll get to that in a minute. And she's been in rehab, and she's been out of rehab. She gets in trouble, she gets in rehab again, gets out of rehab, been forced to stay in rehab, only to get out of rehab. And you keep hearing the same thing. She learned from a lesson, she's doing rehab, she's making great progress. And I'm sitting here listening to this report and saying, no, she hasn't. She hasn't made not one progress yet. And you know why I always felt that she hasn't? Because she hasn't changed the lifestyle to keep herself from staying out of trouble. And the perfect example is when she's been living in New York for a while, has been doing crazy, stupid things, and they all have one thing in common. Her going out late at night, partying, hanging out with friends she doesn't even barely know, and just having a tantrum because she didn't get away, because she has a way of her mouth, which led her to doing all crazy things, lying to the police about an accident, stealing a necklace purse, all sorts of things leading up to this problem, and she still hasn't addressed her problems. And believe me, she has a lot of problems. And here's the thing. It's more on the fact that she's making a mockery over some very good, very helpful programs that many people use to actually get help. All right, these programs are not bad programs. These are good programs. And granted, they always say is what you make of these programs, what you bring in is what you get back. And it's so true. There are some programs that are expensive. Lindsay Lohan's program ain't cheap. A lot of these programs is very hard to get because A, people sometimes are not medically insured, and the price, especially for an inpatient, can go up the roof. There's no question that some of the best rehab clinics are the most expensive. And Lindsay Lohan, with the resources that she has, can afford the best possible care out there. In fact, the place that she went is probably one of the best in the countries. And she spent a lot of money just on rehab, just rehab alone. And I'm like this: if you're going to at least, even if you're being forced by court or not forced by court, if you're going to have to spend all this money on your own expense or your own medical insurance, you might as well get the best out of it. You might as well learn something about yourself. And it's not just about confessing to, yeah, I got an alcohol problem or I got a drug problem. It's basically learning about yourself. What triggered this? What triggered you to lay down this path? And I felt that by the time she got in there, she has not done that. Yeah, she probably talked about, I got an alcohol problem, I got, I do drugs and all this and that, but she never really dig deep inside herself. There's a lot of demons that she's not confronting. A lot of stuff she's not bringing out on the surface. And it leads me to my next thing, her hanging out all the time. It may have been cool, maybe a thrill when you're a teenager. She's 28 years old. She's going to be 30 in 2 years. Okay? And she's doing things that you normally don't think a 30-year-old do. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's her business and everything else. But if your hangouts is one of your triggers to you drinking alcohol, getting drunk and driving, or doing any kind of drugs, then you need to change that. You need to change it quickly. See, recovery, and I put the word recovery very strongly, because people who have a drug and alcohol abuse problem or any kind of addiction at all, you're never cured from that. You're never cured from that. That's why they always say you're a recovering alcoholic, you're a recovering drug addict, you're a recovering gambler, you're a recovering sex addict. You're never cured from that. Just like that, you can relapse and go back to the same patterns that led you to doing what you did. And sometimes relapse do happen. Sometimes it takes people 3 relapse to finally seek the help they need. Some people never do, which can result to losing their families, losing their freedom, even losing their lives. Drug, alcoholism, sex, gambling is a very serious thing. Something that should never be taken lightly. And one of the reasons why I always say that Lindsay Lohan didn't still has these problems, because she's still following the same pattern, which leads to her situation that she's in right now. In fact, all she did was say, I'm going to keep doing the same things and pray that she gets different results. And I know from the recent articles I've read that she said she never really hurt the woman who she had a fight with at a club, even though I'm dying to know what she was doing 4 o'clock in the morning, but that's her business. She called the 20-year-old gypsy, and obviously that was the assault that she had. She didn't really hit the person per se. She just insulted her with words. She said she still didn't punch her, but the point is, just put that aside for a moment here, and let's just ask ourselves the question: why do you keep putting yourself in situations knowing full well it may land you in more trouble? When I heard about the incident a few months back about her having a situation in the hotel with a guy, and I said this before, if the guy did put her hands on her first, he should be in jail. There should be no reason why the cops should have let him go free. But their story was so insane, the cops said, you know what, we ain't buying none of this story, we're just going to drop it off and keep it moving. But the point was, I was more angry after the fact, because I actually talked about it. I said they should be mad, but I was also mad at Lindsay because, again, she didn't know this person. Why do you feel you need to have an entourage everywhere you go? Why do you feel you need to be around people everywhere you go? And I sometimes feel that the people who she's hanging out with are nothing more than vultures. Because I guarantee you, and I talked about this with a couple of people, both on the site and as well as just basically in Modern Talks, that these people here are only hanging out with you because you got the money. When that money runs dry, I want to see those same people hang out with you. And that's the thing that I don't understand. It may have to take her hitting rock bottom financially to understand that, and I don't think she really understands that. Now, put aside the Liz and Dick movie that came out. I don't know. I haven't seen the film. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm not going to criticize what I didn't see. I know it got panned by critics and didn't do too well at all on the Lifetime channel, but that's critics. Forget about the movie part. The point what I'm trying to get here is that in terms of viewers concerned, people are sick and tired of seeing her on screen. People are sick and tired of seeing her on their news, and they completely turned off by her. I'm turned off by her because the simple fact is she continues to follow the same pattern and refuses to realize she needs help. And what's sad about it is she makes the place, and one of other places who are designed to help people who has a strong addiction, who wants help, who really wants help, look bad. Because people outside say, well, she went to rehab and they didn't seem to help much, so why should why should we continue to fund these certain rehab centers, or why should we even think they're worthwhile? They obviously doesn't work. She didn't go through the program. Here's the thing, she never went to the program from day one. 3 months in a rehab center is not going to help solve your problem. You sometimes need years. just to get to the core of the problem. I'm saying this because, again, I have known people who have dealt with this. I know the effects that the drugs and alcohol and gambling has. I know for a fact that it is not something to play with. You can only fake it to make it for so long, and then you can hit rock bottom, and then before finally waking up and realizing that. And I don't think she ever grasped that. I think that she continues to feel that her way is fine, and that's because she's been given a free ride. I think there's time that the court stopped giving a free ride, because obviously she has no respect for the law. She really don't. And yes, it was very clear from her court hearings, from all the misdemeanors, from her parole violation, which, by the way, I'm not buying she's going to get violated from parole, even though the cops from California have charged her with obstruction of justice. And that's largely because she has the money. She has the money, and therefore she has the resources to skate past that. And as a consequence, she's not receiving the help that she probably would have gotten have the judge have nipped it in the bud and say, hey, look, you're going to be here for a few years. You need the help. Now, her father says he wants his daughter back in rehab. And that's another story that I just firmly refuse to talk about, because Lindsay called the cops on him because he was trying to force her to go to rehab. That family's history has not sparked well with me. But even I have to say that maybe he was right. Maybe she does need to go back to rehab. Now, I pretty much know she needs to go back to rehab. But the point is she going to go to rehab because she really wants it? Or is she going to go to rehab just so she can look good to the judge? And that's the thing. So that's my feeling about it. It's not Lindsay Lohan per se. It's the fact is that she constantly do the same thing over and over again, uses these facilities that is designed to help people as nothing more than an image plea to get her out of trouble. And she never really once take these services seriously. Her way she moves in the spotlight proves that. If you know going to clubs leads you into trouble, then don't go. You don't need to go to the club every single day. Don't hang out with friends that's basically going to pressure you to drink and do drugs that you know perfectly well is part of your triggers to get in trouble. And trust me, they don't have to say if you want to sniff or you want to drink. All you need to do is have it around you, and then boom. It's not just admitting you got a problem. It's pretty much an overhaul change. That starts with the way you live, how you go about doing your business. Just saying I have a problem and saying that I'm addicted to this, I'm addicted to that, it's not enough. It's just not. A complete change needs to be made. Otherwise, you're just basically taking time on to happen. And I'm hoping. Look, I don't hate Lindsay Lohan. I'm keeping this real. I'm sick and tired of seeing her on my news. I'm sick and tired of seeing her getting in all sorts of stupid trouble and getting away with it, when if this was an average person making barely a minimum wage and do the same thing she's done, she's going to jail. They're going to jail. That's me, you, anybody who's a hard-working taxpayer. They're not given the chances that she's got. They're just not. And to prove how she doesn't understand the seriousness of her problem, when Amanda Bond got in trouble with her issues, and I do believe she also has issues of her own that she's not addressing yet, and I hope she gets the help she needs. I know she retired from the movie business, which, honestly, I thought she'd already been retired a long time ago. But when that came out, when the judge made hearings, she immediately blasted Amanda Bynes, saying she's getting a free ride and everything else. I guess she must have forgotten how much free ride she has, how much leeway they was being, how much leniency they gave her, and the fact she was more concerned about Amanda Bynes than our own affairs, trying to push judgment on her and not keeping it solely on herself. And that's the thing I don't understand. Who knows? Maybe with the right people going, or right friends, people who really truly care for her, not just her entourage, who only reason they're there is because she has the money and it makes them look good. You know, it's pretty going to take a very dramatic turn for her to finally wake up. Now, as far as this is concerned, she said she didn't hit the girl. I don't know if it was true or not. But the point is, shouldn't have been there, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. It's a poor decision on her part, regardless of how you look at it. Well, guys, I'm done for the day. Pretty good, exactly at the time I needed to do. Those are the stories, and as always, I'll leave links to the story. You guys can talk about it, and also leave your own comments. And again, like always, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.